An 8 on your side alert before you get behind the wheel this morning. You might have noticed pickup trucks are getting bigger and bigger. As Consumer Reports warns, bigger trucks can cause dangers to other drivers.
These 2026 pickup trucks have a serious problem. Consumer Reports just released new reliability data based on feedback from roughly 380,000 vehicle owners. Hidden in that data is a pattern that is hard to ignore. Some of the most recognizable trucks on the road are dealing with serious powertrain failures, electrical glitches, braking problems, and software issues that can leave owners stranded. In this video, we are going to count down 11 pickups, from the least bad of the bunch to the one Consumer Reports basically treats as a do not buy warning. We will walk through what is going wrong, what that suggests about the engineering behind these trucks, and what you should keep in mind if you are shopping soon. Number 11. Toyota Tundra. For a long time, if you wanted to buy once and hold a truck for 10 or 15 years, this was the one enthusiasts pointed you toward. That is why the latest owner feedback feels like such a departure from the story people are used to telling. Under the hood, the big change was moving to a 3.4-liter twin-turbocharged 6-cylinder engine. On paper, it brings more torque and better fuel economy than the old naturally aspirated 8-cylinder. In practice, Consumer Reports has heard from owners about main bearing failures deep inside that engine. When these bearings spin, oil pressure can fall towards zero, and in some cases, the engine has seized at highway speeds. At first, Toyota said leftover manufacturing debris may have been to blame. That might explain a few early failures, but then some replacement engines installed under warranty began failing in the same way. When a fixed engine dies with the same symptom, it starts to look less like a one-off factory oversight and more like a design or lubrication problem that has not been fully solved. There are also issues beyond the engine. The 2026 Toyota Tundra is under recall for backup cameras that can suddenly go blank, which is not ideal on a tall, long truck. Another recall covers factory tonneau covers that can detach at speed, turning into road debris. Even with all this, Consumer Reports still gives the 2026 Toyota Tundra the highest predicted reliability score on this list, 41 out of 100. That used to mean safe bet. Now it just means least concerning of a rough group. Before we go to the next one, tell me your hot take. Which truck's a no-go and why? Number 10. Chevrolet Silverado 1500. In just about any big parking lot, you will see this next truck in large numbers. Contractors drive it, families daily drive it, and it has been one of the best-selling vehicles in North America for years. You would think that kind of volume would force every serious flaw out of the design by now. Instead, one problem just keeps hanging around. The 8-cylinder engine in question uses a cylinder deactivation system to save fuel by shutting off some cylinders under light load. To pull that off, it relies on special valve lifters that can mechanically collapse and re-extend. Those lifters are complex parts with very small internal locking pins, and according to Consumer Reports owner surveys, they are still failing in the 2026 Chevrolet Silverado 1500. When a lifter collapses and sticks, the driver can feel misfires, hear ticking noises, and sometimes ends up with bent push rods and damage to the cylinder head components. Repairs are not cheap, and some owners have faced more than one round of work. It has gotten serious enough that General Motors has issued stop sale orders on some Silverado 1500s sitting on dealer lots, meaning they cannot be sold until the lifter problem is addressed. Choosing the turbocharged 4-cylinder in the Chevrolet Silverado 1500 avoids that lifter design but introduces different worries. Owners have reported coolant leaks from quick connect radiator hose assemblies, something that can lead to overheating if not caught. There have also been complaints about intermittent electrical shorts in low-voltage harnesses and keyless entry systems that refuse to cooperate. All of that leads Consumer Reports to give the 2026 Chevrolet Silverado 1500 a predicted reliability score of 40 out of 100. For a truck that popular, that number is a loud signal to look very closely at the specific engine and options you are signing up for. Number 9. Jeep Gladiator. Some buyers do not want their truck to feel like a soft crossover. They want something boxy, upright, and trail-ready, even if it spends most of its time on pavement. That is the crowd that gravitated to a certain mid-size pickup that essentially turns a classic off-roader into a truck with a cargo box. The charm is real, but so are the trade-offs. On the road, the most infamous issue is the death wobble. Owners of the Jeep Gladiator have reported that hitting a bump at particular speeds can trigger a violent shake through the steering wheel. This is tied to the solid front axle design and how quickly parts like track bar bushings, ball joints, and steering dampers wear. Once there is enough play, the front end can start oscillating until the driver slows down or the components are replaced. It is unnerving, especially on the highway. The electrical layout of the Jeep Gladiator also creates headaches. It uses a dual battery system with a smaller auxiliary battery handling stop-start duties. As that smaller battery degrades, it can silently drag down the main battery instead of failing cleanly. The result is a truck that may start one day and be completely dead the next morning, with little warning. Moisture intrusion is another theme. Water finding its way into the trailer wiring connector on some Jeep Gladiators has triggered false trailer brake fault codes. Drivers get warnings about brake issues that are not actually there, which can make it harder to trust new alerts when something real does go wrong. Because of these patterns, Consumer Reports gives the 2026 Jeep Gladiator a predicted reliability score of 40 out of 100. For die-hard Jeep fans, that might feel normal. For someone wanting a reliable daily driver that just looks adventurous, it is a more serious concern. Number 8. GMC Sierra 1500. Further up the price ladder, there is a half-ton truck that tries to blend working truck capability with a luxury image. It offers richer interiors, more chrome, and a lot of high-end features aimed at making towing and commuting feel premium. Underneath, though, it shares quite a bit with its more common cousin, including a few painful weaknesses. The 8-cylinder engine with cylinder deactivation in the GMC Sierra 1500 comes from the same General Motors family as the Silverado motor. That means the same type of collapsing lifters. Consumer Reports owner data shows similar complaints from Sierra drivers about misfires, ticking, and ultimately expensive valve train repairs when those lifters give up. Paying more for the badge and interior does not change that basic design. On top of that, the GMC Sierra 1500 and higher trims loads up on electronics. Denali and Denali Ultimate models bring massaging seats, complex power tailgates, multi-camera trailering systems, and lots of extra lighting. Owners have reported that some of these modules do not fully shut down when the truck is turned off. Instead of going into a deep sleep, they keep drawing a trickle of power. The short-term effect is a dead battery and a jump start. The longer-term effect is a battery that has been deeply discharged enough times to lose capacity, making repeat no-start events more and more likely. Diagnosing which module is staying awake can take time, which frustrates both owners and dealerships. When Consumer Reports adds that electronic drain behavior to the ongoing lifter stories, the 2026 GMC Sierra 1500 ends up with the same predicted reliability score as the Silverado, 40 out of 100. It highlights a theme we will keep seeing. The more high-end features you pile onto a shaky foundation, the more fragile the whole package becomes. Number 7. GMC Sierra 2500 Heavy Duty. In the 3/4 ton world, the sales pitch is simple. These are supposed to be serious tools. People buy them to tow equipment, haul heavy loads, and work long hours. A few squeaks are fine as long as the core systems shrug off abuse. When those core systems become the weak link, buyers notice fast. The GMC Sierra 2500 Heavy Duty, especially in diesel form, is built around that heavy work promise. The engine is paired with a branded heavy-duty automatic transmission that, on paper, has plenty of capacity. Yet owner feedback gathered by Consumer Reports describes slow engagement when selecting drive or reverse, along with rough, occasionally clunky gear changes. That is not what you want to feel when you have a big trailer hooked up. Then there is the emissions hardware. Like every modern diesel, the GMC Sierra 2500 Heavy Duty depends on a diesel particulate filter and an exhaust fluid injection system to stay clean. When those parts clog or malfunction, the truck often responds by limiting power and capping maximum speed until the problem is fixed. That might be manageable if you were close to a dealer. If you are hours from town with equipment on the back, it is a different story. High-trim versions add sophisticated trailering cameras and monitoring systems. Those can be incredibly useful, but some Sierra owners have reported cameras that refuse to power down completely, draining auxiliary batteries, and screens that go dark while trying to back into tight spots. Because of issues like these, Consumer Reports gives the 2026 GMC Sierra 2500 Heavy Duty a predicted reliability score of 37 out of 100. For a truck that is supposed to be a dependable work partner, that rating is a red flag that buyers should not ignore. Number 6. Chevrolet Silverado 2500 Heavy Duty. In many dealerships, there is a second heavy-duty truck parked almost bumper to bumper with the one we just talked about. It wears a different grille and badge, but shares a lot of the same bones underneath. Not surprisingly, the complaints owners are reporting look very familiar too. The Chevrolet Silverado 2500 Heavy Duty shares the same core powertrains as its GMC sibling. Diesel buyers talk about the automatic transmission feeling slow to grab a gear when selected, and sometimes shifting harshly under load. The same kinds of diesel particulate filter and exhaust fluid system faults show up in Consumer Reports survey data, often triggering limp mode behavior at very inconvenient times. What sets the Silverado 2500 Heavy Duty apart is a recall involving its trailer brake control module. In certain trucks, an internal electrical fault can cause that module to overheat and even start melting. In rare extreme cases, that carries a fire risk. Considering this is a truck heavily marketed to people who tow, having the primary trailer brake controller show up in a fire risk recall is a serious concern, even if failures are not widespread. With all that in mind, Consumer Reports gives the 2026 Chevrolet Silverado 2500 Heavy Duty the same predicted reliability score as the GMC Heavy Duty, 37 out of 100. It is another reminder that platform sharing means problem sharing, especially when failures involve critical towing systems. Number 5. Tesla Cybertruck. Every so often, a vehicle shows up that does not try to blend in at all. This one is all sharp angles, stainless body panels, and a minimalist, screen-heavy interior. It promises wild acceleration and futuristic capability in a pickup package. That bold approach was always going to come with risks, and the early reliability story is showing where some of those cracks are. Sit behind the wheel, and one of the first things you notice is how different the view out feels. The Tesla Cybertruck's thick front pillars, sloped sides, and high beltline create blind spots that are unlike those in more conventional conventional trucks. Drivers are pushed toward relying almost entirely on the camera system when parking or maneuvering in tight spots. Those cameras and screens then become critical to basic operation. Consumer Reports testing and early owner reports have mentioned lag in those camera feeds, brief blackouts, and occasional software glitches. When your direct sight lines are already compromised by design, any delay or dropout in the digital view adds more stress than it would in a traditional pickup. The Cybertruck's control layout is also very screen-centric. Gear selection and even turn signal operation tie into touch controls in the main display rather than using separate physical stalks and levers. Once you adapt, that may feel normal, but when the central screen freezes or lags, the driver's ability to do very simple things depends on software cooperating in the moment. Beyond the user interface, there are more old-fashioned reliability worries. Some Tesla Cybertruck owners have reported high-voltage system shutdowns that leave the truck totally immobile and needing a flatbed tow. There have also been complaints about water intrusion into the rear light ball and about steering hardware not holding up as expected. Consumer Reports takes all of that into account and gives the 2026 Tesla Cybertruck a predicted reliability score of 34 out of 100. It might still be appealing if you want something wild and are comfortable being an early adopter. If you just want a truck that quietly does its job, that number should make you think twice.
Number 4. Chevrolet Colorado. Shrinking down from full size, there is a mid-size pickup that tries to be the do-it-all option for people who do not want a huge truck. It offers modern styling, respectable towing for its class, and plenty of technology shared with larger siblings. On paper, it looks like a sweet spot. In colder climates, owner feedback has revealed a more worrying side. Drivers in northern regions have reported that on very cold mornings, when temperatures drop well below freezing, the 2026 Chevrolet Colorado can throw a fit at startup. The electronic brake assist module sometimes crashes right after the engine fires. The dash lights up with warning messages, and in some cases, the truck goes into a reduced performance mode that limits top speed. That is not just inconvenient. Losing or altering brake assist when roads are icy or having your truck restrict itself while you are merging on a winter highway is genuinely unnerving. This is the kind of failure that straddles the line between reliability and safety.
On top of that, the Chevrolet Colorado uses an 8-speed automatic transmission that has drawn complaints about a low-speed shudder under gentle deceleration. Owners describe a pulsing or vibration that feels like the torque converter locking and unlocking repeatedly. It is not necessarily catastrophic, but it does undermine trust in the drivetrain. The truck's over-the-air update capability also creates a new failure mode. When software updates are pushed, some control modules in the Chevrolet Colorado have been known to stay awake instead of going to sleep after you shut off the ignition. That constant draw on the 12-volt battery can leave the truck completely dead by morning, with no obvious sign that anything was wrong the night before. Collecting these patterns, Consumer Reports assigns the 2026 Chevrolet Colorado a predicted reliability score of 29 out of 100. It might still work for someone in a mild climate with short commutes. For a buyer who counts on their truck in harsh winters, it is a much tougher bet.
Number 3. GMC Canyon. Parked right alongside that midsize, often at the same dealership, is a closely related truck wearing a different badge and a slightly more upscale face. Under the skin, it shares a platform, powertrain, and many of the same electronics. Unsurprisingly, the reliability story looks almost identical. Owners of the 2026 GMC Canyon in cold weather regions have described the same brake assist module crash on very cold starts that Colorado drivers report. You fire the engine, and within moments, the instrument cluster explodes with warning icons. In some instances, the Canyon drops into a limited performance mode and caps its own speed. Again, this is happening in winter conditions when you least want surprises in your braking or acceleration. The 8-speed automatic fitted to the GMC Canyon brings along the same low-speed shudder behavior heard about in the Colorado. Under gentle slowing, drivers feel a kind of wavering or surging that points to the way the torque converter and transmission software are interacting. It may not strand the truck on the side of the road, but it erodes confidence in the machine.
Like its sibling, the GMC Canyon's over-the-air update system can prevent certain modules from going to sleep when a software push goes poorly. That means a truck that appears fully shut off can still be quietly drawing enough current to empty the 12-volt battery overnight. Canyon owners have reported walking out to what feels like a brand new truck that will not even unlock or crank. Given how closely the trouble list mirrors the Colorado's, Consumer Reports also gives the 2026 GMC Canyon a predicted reliability score of 29 out of 100. It shows how a single underlying design deployed across two brands can spread the same vulnerabilities into multiple showrooms.
Number 2. Rivian R1T. Among electric pickups, there is one that leans into the outdoorsy lifestyle more than the construction site image. It promises multiple electric motors, impressive off-road chops, clever storage tricks, and a very modern interior. On a short test drive, it feels like a glimpse of where trucks might be headed. In everyday ownership, though, the complexity is catching up. The Rivian R1T uses a sophisticated air suspension that can raise the body for trails and lower it for the highway. That flexibility comes with a web of air lines, sensors, valves, and a compressor.
Owner reports collected by Consumer Reports tell a consistent story. Small leaks develop, the system struggles to hold height, and the compressor ends up running far more than it should. Over time, that constant work can burn out the compressor and leave the truck sitting low on its bump stops, unable to be driven normally. Drive units, which combine motors and reduction gear sets, have also seen issues. Some Rivian R1T owners have had entire drive units replaced in both dual motor and quad motor configurations. Others have talked about half-shaft vibrations and steering pulls at highway speeds, which suggests that long-term durability and alignment of key components are still being worked out. Despite carrying a massive high-voltage battery, the Rivian R1T still relies on two conventional 12-volt batteries to keep its safety systems and computers alive. When those smaller batteries fail, the truck can essentially brick itself. It will not power up, will not shift, and has to be moved on a flatbed. Repairs sometimes go beyond a basic battery swap and include replacing sections of the wiring harness, which is time-consuming and not cheap. All of this is made harder by the fact that Rivian's service network is still relatively thin. Many owners live hours from the nearest service center, meaning a failure can turn into a long tow and a long wait. With those factors in mind, Consumer Reports gives the 2026 Rivian R1T a predicted reliability score of 18 out of 100. It is a clever and impressive machine, but the gap between concept and real-world durability is still wide. Number 1. Ram 1500. At the very bottom of the list sits a half-ton that in earlier generations was often praised for its smooth ride and comfortable cabin. The newest version has managed to pick up a very different kind of distinction. According to Consumer Reports, the Ram 1500 for 2026 has earned the lowest predicted reliability score they have ever recorded for a pickup, just 5 out of 100. A surprisingly large part of that story starts with what the truck does when you are not driving it. The Ram 1500 uses a proximity keyless entry system that is supposed to let the truck go fully to sleep and then wake up briefly to look for the fob. In practice, if the key lives close to where the truck is parked, the system can keep pinging for it. That keeps lights, screens, and various modules from shutting down.
Doing that night after night drains the starting battery deeply, which lead-acid designs do not tolerate well. Over time, the battery in the Ram 1500 loses capacity and begins delivering unstable voltage. Owners then start seeing an odd mix of glitches, random warning lights, infotainment lag, odd behavior from locks and windows. It feels like a haunted truck, but the root cause is often a vehicle that simply never really goes to sleep. Under the hood, the new Hurricane twin-turbocharged inline 6-cylinder engine creates its own problems. Under heavy load, exhaust temperatures can climb high enough to damage catalytic converters. Plastic cooling components have shown a tendency to crack or leak. In the most serious cases, coolant can make its way into the intercooler and then into the cylinders. Because coolant does not compress, that can lead to hydrolock, bending connecting rods, and destroying an engine that is practically brand new. Fuel quality adds one more twist. On paper, the Ram 1500's Hurricane engine can run on regular unleaded. In harder use, real-world experience suggests it is much happier on higher octane fuel. Pushing it hard on regular increases the risk of knock and pre-ignition, which are not friendly to pistons and cylinder walls over time.
Buyers who stuck with the older Hemi 8-cylinder and the Ram 1500 do not fully escape trouble either. That engine has a record of broken exhaust manifold bolts, valve train noise tied to its own cylinder deactivation hardware, and wear in the e-torque mild hybrid system that adds more moving parts to something that used to be simple. So whether you went with the brand new Hurricane or the proven Hemi, you are still carrying extra mechanical risk. On top of the engine and electrical problems, there are safety-related recalls that pull the Ram 1500 into wider Stellantis campaigns. One involves trailer brake control modules that can overheat and melt internally. In extreme cases, that raises a fire risk on vehicles whose owners often tow. Another recall targets digital instrument clusters that can go completely blank. In a modern Ram 1500, that screen is your speedometer, your warning lights, and most of your gauge information. When it goes dark, you are essentially driving blind to what the truck is doing. Thanks for watching. If this helped, please like and subscribe for more truck reliability deep dives. Comment below which 2026 pickup you'd avoid or which you'd buy. Subscribe and ring the bell for more videos.